Hey everybody, this is Dave Bensman with Bensman Home Computer Repair, and today I'd like to talk about the best upgrade that you can do for your computer. If you don't already have a solid state drive installed, that's what I would recommend doing if you're concerned about how quickly your computer is running. Or if you're in a position where you have Windows 7 installed and you need to install Windows 10, or if you're in a position where you have malware or something like that, or a corrupted drive or a broken drive, it's a perfect time to switch to a solid state drive. I needed to speed my computer up a little bit because I sometimes play video games and there are some long load times on there. And I also was concerned about how my computer was booting and shutting down. It was taking about a minute and a half to 2 minutes to boot this PC. It's kind of an old PC. It's like 7 to 10 years old. And it was taking about a minute and a half to 2 minutes to boot. And I wanted to cut that down. So I figured, why not get a solid state drive? Now, I've seen a lot of reviews for this particular solid state drive on the internet. This is the Samsung 860 EVO. It has a 5-year warranty on it. It's a terabyte drive. I got it, I think, for $150. And it's a 2.5-inch drive, so it'll fit in any kind of desktop, any kind of laptop. I picked this up at Best Buy, and that seemed to be a decent price. And I put it in this computer, and I'm going to show you the basics kind of how I did that. First, what we're going to do, and I apologize for the shaky cam, but I'm going to shut this computer down. This computer was taking about a half a minute to 45 seconds to shut down, and here's how it's shutting down now. Yeah, and that's the operating system, and then the hardware right here is down now. So a dramatic improvement. I used to leave my computer on all the time because I needed to access it really quickly, and I would reboot it every 3 or 4 days. This I don't even bother to leave on because it turns on so quickly that it's not necessary. Now let me show you what I did on the inside of this computer. I apologize for the messiness of my desk, but I am one of those people. Alright, so let's see what I did on the inside of the computer. You can see right here that on the inside of the drive, you're going to see two hard drives, or inside of the computer, you're going to see two hard drives. This one right here in the front, that is just a 2 terabyte drive used for data. The one in the back, that one right there that I'm shining the light on, that was my original 3.5-inch drive, and that's had a SATA cable plugged into it, and it was plugged into the motherboard. And all I had to do was take that SATA cable, and you can see it right here. All I had to do was take that blue SATA cable and plug it into this drive, and then I kind of got lazy, and I didn't really screw it into the case, because there's no moving parts to these guys, and they're super light, and they're in their own enclosure, so it really doesn't matter. They don't really create much heat, so it's not a big deal. I would, if this were like a client's computer, I definitely would be trying to screw that into the case if it would fit. I'd be getting a bracket, something like that. But on my own rig, I just didn't really feel that it was that important. And it works great. And, there's no exposed circuit board like you have on a standard drive. It really looks as if it's I'll show you again. It just kind of looks as if it's an external drive almost. And it's really, really cool. As a matter of fact, it looks exactly like an external drive, except it has a SATA port instead of a USB port. Do make sure that before you plug the computer back in, that you hook a power connector up to the back of the drive. This is my standard drive. That's what the power connector looks like. Here's another one. They are both the data cable and the power connector cable are notched. You can see like a little L right there, L bend, and that'll tell you what, orientation to have the plug in when you plug it in. But you want to plug the power in, and you want to plug the data cable back in. In this case, that's the orange one, plugged into my data drive right there. Yeah, and then that's really all you need to do is just plug those two cables in, and you are ready to rock. Now, when you do the install, you do want to make sure that you unplug the power cable, which is this guy right here, from the back of the system. And then after you unplug the power cable, hold your start button in for about 5 seconds just to make sure that everything's been discharged. And then if you touch some metal part of the case, you should be okay for anti-static, but you may want to wear, people say, oh, you got to do it on an anti-static mat, you've got to be wearing a wristband and all like that. I mean, as long as you're not shuffling on a carpet, like shag carpet, you should be okay. Now, this computer, when it had that 3.5-inch drive in it, would take about 1.5 to 2 minutes to start, and then you would have to wait another 30 seconds to a minute before you could actually do anything. This thing has an older i7 processor in it. It has 12 gigs of memory, but it had a bunch of stuff on there, and it just, that old style drive, that's how long it took. So let's see how long it takes now. I'm going to time it. Okay, I just hit the button, and there's the Dell logo. We're at about 15 seconds now. And there we are on the desktop at about 20 seconds after that. And then when you go to open something like OpenOffice, you can see how quickly, like it never would have opened that quickly with a standard drive. It would have taken a very long time. And let's open Fallout 4. And there's that. Yeah, so you can see that the load times are pretty negligible once you switch to a solid state drive. So it's something I would definitely recommend. It's actually not that hard to do. Once you put the solid state drive in the computer, and really it'll plug into any SATA port. And the SATA port is this guy right here. That's the SATA port on your drive, and there's a similar SATA port on your solid state drive. As a matter of fact, the back of the solid state drive and the back of the standard drive look pretty much identical. And then we quit out of this, and there it is. I mean, that's pretty quick. I can't imagine it being a lot quicker than that. So that's pretty much the ins and outs of it. Once you install the solid state drive, you're gonna use your Windows installation media, which is like a USB drive that you download the Windows installation media on. I have a video as to how to make one of those. I'll link to that in the description. Use your Windows installation media, you plug that in, you boot to it, and it should install the operating system on your new solid state drive, and it should install it in like about 10 minutes. Depending on what processor and how much memory you've got, it doesn't take very long. And then you're rocking and rolling. I can install one of these if you're in the Memphis area. If you think you can do it yourself, go for it, obviously. Any competent technician should be able to handle this. If you like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. I hope you found it helpful, and if you are in the Memphis area and you need in-home computer repair support, please feel free to call me, Dave Bensman, at Bensman Home Computer Repair at 901-830-4362, and as always, stay safe.